And welcome back everyone to the video series Today Show on MTV that gave us an overload of Devin this past week. Now, if you watched the episode with commercials on MTV while it was airing, you saw Devin during the episode as well as for all the commercials for the new Are You the One premiering on Paramount Plus. So that's where that intro is coming from. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge Season 38. Episode 15, and let's start off where last episode left off, and that was Fessel and Mariah winning themselves back into the game, leaving Casey and Kenny versus Jordan and Anissa in one more elimination game or redemption game, and they were playing a challenge classic called Not So Fast. Now with Not So Fast, the partners will be tethered together with a giant rope in between them, and they're gonna have to go inside, outside, go all around, try to tie up this rope as much as possible within 20 minutes, and then the two pairs are going to switch, and then they're going to try to undo what the other team did. The first team to unravel their rope and get it across the line fully wins back into the game, and one team will be, boom, vamonos, out of here, you're gone. Now, like I said last Friday in my Tiny Table Talk, I thought that this was like a coin flip of a game that, yes, Casey and Kenny are a little bit more nimble, a little bit more sleeker. Maybe they're going to be able to have more agility to go up and down and all around a little bit more than, say, Jordan and Anissa. But when it comes to Not So Fast, this really comes down to strategy. It doesn't matter how many times you go around this thing. It's not about how many trips you do around the cube. It's what you can do with the rope to really make things really difficult for the opponent trying to unravel it. And knowing the experience that Jordan and Anissa have, with Anissa doing a Not So Fast in her challenge career, Jordan hasn't done one personally, but he has watched one in person on X's 2 with the redemption game between John A. and Zach versus Bananas and Nany. And so I'm sure Jordan has thought of what he would do in a Not So Fast over and over and over again, and now is his chance. Now, the thing that's holding both of these teams back are each other. You know, Anissa was kind of gassing out a little bit. Kenny was also gassing out, but also the strategy between Casey and Kenny, as well as their communication, was kind of breaking down. The same thing with Jordan and Anissa. It's a high stressful situation, but both communication was kind of breaking down. I thought maybe the sister-brother duo would do better than the faux buddy-buddy pairing of Jordan and Anissa. However, Casey and Kenny just seemed a little lost. Yes, they were going around and around like I was thinking that they would do, but when it came down to switching, all the rope seemed a little loose. They were trying to go in all the little nooks and crannies to make it that much harder on Jordan and Anissa, but when they swapped around, at first it seemed a little bit close, but as time just kept going and going, Jordan and Anissa just stayed at a consistent pace. They were really focused, and Casey and Kenny were just falling so far behind. They had so much rope left around this cube by the time that Jordan and Anissa were grabbing all of it and bringing it through the line. Jordan and Anissa win back into this game, and Casey gets her first elimination loss. Kenny gets his third this season, and that's counting last week's elimination / redemption loss with the holding up the cylinders on the ramp. There's a huge heartfelt goodbye between Nany and Casey. This is going to be really tough for Nany because Nany hasn't played in the challenge without Casey since before Total Madness. I mean, Casey's never been eliminated. This is the first time that Casey is leaving in the middle of a season. So Nany is feeling really, really down. Jordan and Anissa are proud of each other. Anissa is proud to have a partner that is motivational yet aggressive, but it works for her, and she just feels like she can do anything with Jordan by her side. Now we go back to the challenge house where we see a conversation between Fessel and Mariah, and they're trying to talk about what happened, kind of hash things out, whatever was getting in the way between their dynamic. Let's put that all aside and work to try to win and get in a really good spot and get to these finals, because Fessel thinks that maybe they have a really great shot with the teams that are left in the game. Maybe they have a really good opportunity to make it to the finals and maybe push for this win. However, they weren't on the best of terms when Mariah left, and they still don't seem like they're on the best of terms as things get pretty heated, as both players are saying that they felt betrayed by one another, and then they agree to kind of bottle it up. Let's put that aside and let's just work together to try to win. The next morning, Bananas is talking to Nany. telling her that you can count on me. Whatever you could tell Casey, you can tell me. I will be that rock for you. I felt that was really nice of Bananas to be that reassurance for Nany, saying like, look, don't think you're burdening me, whether it's in-game stuff or out-of-game stuff. Know that you can come to me and tell me your struggles and I will be there for you. I thought that was really good. Yes, she is still missing Casey, but she came here to win first and foremost, and she feels like this is her time. You know, this is Nany's time. And we'll see that as we move to this week's daily challenge, where they meet up on a designated course with a bus careening down this course. TJ comes out of the bus saying that they will be playing this week's daily challenge called Runaway Ride. They're going to be inside the bus, going down this track, going back and forth with all these different debris and barriers in the way, cars coming at the bus. Then they're going to have to look at this legend that's on the side of the road. They're going to have to figure out which balls go in which way and then try to match all the balls and flip over the switch. The team that can get all 10 balls matched in the quickest time wins into power, wins into safety, gets to save one team, and then put 4 teams up for possible elimination. Now, this was done on the Challenge Australia, and I feel the same way as I felt about it back then. There's a lot going on the screen. Like, aesthetically, I felt like this is a fun challenge. I see the bus going back and forth. It's going around the whole track. Like, aesthetically, there's a lot going on to attract the eye to watch this and to continue to watch it. It's almost like a train wreck in that sense. But also, it just feels really, really dangerous. I mean, you could really hurt yourself. You could tweak your arm, hurt your leg, hurt your ankle, maybe crack your neck a little bit. I think somebody on the Challenge Australia hurt their back during this. I mean, Amber takes some good hits to the head. I mean, you could get a concussion. Amber and Chauncey, they took a lot of hits, and at one point they are just like, we don't know about the rest of the balls. Let's just flip the switch and get this over with. So they get 7 out of 10 balls. Not the best. Horacio and Olivia are second up, and they are doing an incredible job. Yes, they're getting flung back and forth, but I think Horacio has like a photographic memory, it seems like, because he was able to see the board and then put all of his side up, and then goes to help Olivia put her side up when she's already halfway done with her balls. I mean, they did an incredible job. They were definitely the front runners for most of this, as Jordan and Anissa get thrashed and only get 1 out of 10. Pitiful. And then you have Fessel and Mariah getting 8 out of 10. Tori and Devin. Tori was having a really tough time. She talked about how she gets car sick normally when it's just a normal car doing the normal car thing, let alone a bus doing high speeds and erratic movements. She was yakking all over herself. Devin wanted her to just like wait, because they put all the balls in. Then Devin's like, I just want to make sure this is all good. But then Tori just flips the switch and was like, I don't care. I just need this thing to stop. You got to think that the smell on this bus has got to be gross after all the people that were going. I mean, Chauncey was spewing, Tori yacked. I think Amber said that she was thinking that she was going to puke. And then Anissa, I think, said the same thing. I don't think there's air conditioning on that bus. And even if they clean it up, I mean, I'm sure that the sun is beating down in it. I'm not going to say anymore because I'm kind of grossing myself out it. But Tori and Devin get 8 out of 10, kind of putting them out of the running for this win. Bananas and Nany are the last ones up, at least that's what the edit shows, and they had a strategy down packed. Stay close to the window to see what the legend's gonna be. You're not gonna get thrown around as much. They were able to really work together. They got all 10 balls correct, and they got an incredible time winning this easily, hands down. Bananas and Nany win into power, win into safety. Now, coming back to the challenge house, Horacio is like, I know we're a huge target to go in, him and Olivia, because Bananas and Nany has said their names to go in a couple of times, so he's already expecting to be the direct vote and going to see an elimination this week. Banani goes into the deliberation, and Nany speaks up and says, look, I think we should save Fessel and Mariah, and rattles off a whole bunch of reasonings, and Bananas like, you had me at Mariah. Everybody comes out to see the board, which we haven't seen in quite a while because there was no need for it. But everybody comes out to see the board, and it's Amber and Chauncey, Tori and Devin, Olivia and Horacio, Jordan and Anissa up for interrogation. We have Amber and Chauncey coming into interrogation first, and they nominate themselves to go into the elimination. Chauncey feels bad. He feels guilty because during the last team daily challenge, he was the only person to kind of say like, I can't do this. And he quit on his own team. And even though his team won, that's still with Chauncey. And so him and Amber talked it out and says, we want to go in. Amber also wants to go in because she does not want to be blindsided. She just wants to know, like, get ready, get mentally prepared to go into the elimination. You're going in. Bananas and Nani's like, this is a get out of jail free card. Now, the rest of the teams that are going to be in these interrogations should be happy that they're not going to be the direct vote, right? Amber and Chauncey volunteered themselves. They should be happy about that. Devin and Tori come in. Bananas and Nani say, oh, well, Amber and Chauncey already volunteered themselves. And Devin goes on this like tirade about how this is just a PR stunt for Amber, that, oh, she's just trying to help you out and all this other stuff. Well, she's a bad chess player. And I was like, okay, that's an angle to take. Then we have Jordan and Anissa is also very critical, trying to be like, well, she's just putting on a facade. Either way, she's going in, so just be happy with it. Olivia and Horacio are like, cool, but we know that we're the top team, that if we do not pick the safe dagger, we're going in. Now, after the deliberations and interrogations, we see Olivia talking to Fessel, and she's like, I feel good going into elimination against Amber and Chauncey, so she's feeling good about that. And now Amber and Chauncey are just happy to be together in this game. They made it this far. They want to make it to the finals, but reflecting on their journeys in the game, that they're just happy that they really were able to play this game together and stick together. We move on to this week's elimination, where Bananas and Nani vote in Amber and Chauncey. With that vote, the other three teams goes over to the draw, and we have Anissa and Jordan going up first. They pull the first sword, and it is blank. Olivia and Horacio go up, and they pull, and they get the safe dagger. When I tell you how happy I was when I saw Olivia and Horacio pull the safe dagger, Olivia and Horacio are now safe and have to save one of the two teams. Now, Horacio is really close with Jordan, but because of the past voting history, Olivia and Horacio actually saved Tori and Devin. So that makes this week's elimination matchup of Jordan and Anissa versus Amber and Chauncey in this week's elimination called Rumble Tumble. Now, this elimination game will be played in 2 rounds. Women versus women, men versus men. And what the players will have to do is that they are tethered together, and they're going to have to try to pull their opponent, kind of reverse tug of war style, around the zone floor to try to knock down their blocks on their pedestals. The player in each round that can knock down their blocks first will win that round for their team. Now, if you're a longtime challenge fan or rewatched the older seasons recently that are on Paramount Plus, in Gauntlet 2, there was an elimination called Reverse Tug of War. And what we learned about that elimination is that 9 out of 10 times, the heavier, bigger person in that elimination will win. So when we had round 1 of Anissa versus Amber, I was like, this isn't looking good. And it wasn't. In this first round, Anissa was able to easily get all of her blocks down and win that round. I mean, it was a complete wash of a round. Now, what I will say about this elimination, it's different than in Season 11 Gauntlet 2. In Season 11, that reverse tug of war was just a north and south race. With only one direction to go for each player, there is no real strategy. In this elimination, the podiums are all around in a circular motion, so there is strategy. And Jordan was able to figure out a strategy where Chauncey was going to sprint to his first block, and when he's doing that, he's not going to have that much leverage. So instead, Jordan is going to take a hard right, where he's able to knock down his first block. Then he's going to let Chauncey get to his first block. And once he does that, Jordan is going to be able to try to use that leverage and his strength and his agility to try to change the direction and use that momentum that Chauncey already has going towards his block to use it to get to Jordan's second block tower, which he does. So it's 2-1. Then he's going to use that same strategy where Chauncey's going to get his second block tower, and then Jordan's going to try to make a run for his last tower. However, Chauncey is able to get some leverage going low, and then they're stuck in the middle. It looked like Chauncey was getting his bearings down, but Jordan, with a better leverage spot, staying low, and then Jordan was able to use his quads. I think Jordan had a lot more stamina, push his way, and knock over his last block tower, and he did it. It was a really impressive win by Jordan, getting the win, being more savvy, being wittier than the rookie Chauncey. Jordan and Anissa win their second elimination of this episode. Incredible, but that is it for this episode. I thought that the Not So Fast was pretty good. I thought Jordan and Nisa pulling it out was really, really strong. I felt that their experience was going to win it for them anyways. So I thought that that was really, really good on their part. The daily challenge, again, aesthetically, there was a lot going on, but it wasn't my favorite. I just kind of was cringing because I knew what happened on the Challenge Australia. I knew that people were really kind of just bouncing all over the place. Not a lot of people spewed like they did in here with Tori and Chauncey and I think a few others. Very imaginative, very creative. Not my favorite at the end of the day. Bananas and Nany winning, going last, felt really predictable in my opinion, and then with them saving Fessel and Mariah was kind of predictable as well. The only thing that wasn't predictable that kind of gave me goosebumps was Olivia and Horacio pulling the safe sword, because if this was going the way that Bananas and Nany or anybody else on the vet side was wanting it to go, we would have saw Amber and Chauncey versus Olivia and Horacio, and I thought we were definitely going to get that. Like, definitely. I'm kind of glad we didn't, and I'm glad we got to see another elimination win by Jordan and Anissa, where Jordan had to be a little bit more cunning, and I thought that with Jordan and Chauncey being in the elimination together, I thought that that was a really good battle. I thought it was a really impressive elimination win for Jordan on both sides of those eliminations between Not So Fast and Rumble and Tumble. But that is it for this video. What do you think about this episode? Let me know down in the comment section below. What do you think about the Not So Fast? What do you think about this being Casey's first elimination in the middle of a season? What do you think about Jordan and Nisa winning 2 eliminations? And also, what do you think about the daily challenge and Amber and Chauncey volunteering themselves? Do you think that was a bad idea, or do you think that they were going to be the main vote anyways, so why not just volunteer yourself? Let me know anything and everything down in the comment section below. I want to hear what you have to say. I also want to give a special shout out, thank you to everyone who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who is watching this video up to this point. I'll be back really soon with more Challenge 38 content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.